Welcome everyone to Kinship, where we explore the wisdom of dogs and what they can teach us about ourselves. I am Surabhi, your host, and today we're diving into the wild nervous system, why you feel more alive around animals, and what that aliveness tells us about reclaiming our bodies, our emotions, and our voices. Now, when I say wild nervous system, I'm not talking about chaos. I mean a nervous system that is fluid, responsive, and alive. A system that moves with life rather than resisting it. The problem is that from a very young age, women are often socially and culturally conditioned to suppress this natural wildness. We're taught to be polite, calm, and accommodating, to minimize intensity, to smooth over discomfort rather than feel it fully. Over time, this creates so much tension in our bodies, so much emotional repression, and a nervous system that is reactive, fragmented, or even numb. Dogs, by contrast, for most part, are living embodiments of a wild, responsive nervous system. They teach us, moment by moment, how to inhabit our bodies fully, to notice subtle cues and sensations, and to respond from presence rather than fear or obligation. So, today we'll explore the science, the psychology, and the social context behind this, and how dogs can help us reclaim our wildness and empowered self expression. Let's start with physiology. The nervous system isn't just the network that transmits signals from body to brain. It's the architecture of our emotional and relational life. Dr. Stephen Porges' polyvagal theory shows us that our vagus nerve has two branches, one that activates safety and connection, and one that triggers freeze or shutdown. A wild, fluid nervous system moves naturally between these states, flexibly engaging with the environment and allowing us to feel fully alive and attuned. Culturally, women are often encouraged to live in the social engagement state, but only in a constrained way. So you're expected to smile, soften, soothe, and prioritize others' comfort over your own needs. This creates what so often is referred to as a nervous system armor. That is patterns of tension, emotional suppression, and habitual over responsiveness to external cues. And here's the thing, this suppression is actually reinforced by media, education, and family expectations. The good girl narrative teaches compliance over authenticity. And interestingly, our dogs pretty much bypass all of this for most part. They respond to presence, tone, posture very much in real time. They do not care about social scripts. They care about resonance, about safety, about attunement. Their responsiveness gives your nervous system feedback that you rarely get anywhere else. And your body remembers what it feels like to be alive and flexible again, to trust the signals and sensations that are coming up online for you. And so, in a way, dogs actually become guides for reactivating a wild, fluid nervous system. A system that is attuned, adaptive, and fully embodied. Now, interacting with dogs has measurable physiological effects. Cortisol, our stress hormone, decreases. Oxytocin, the bonding hormone, increases. Heart rate variability, a key indicator of a flexible nervous system, also improves. But these aren't just biological facts, they are embodied experiences of safety, attunement, and relational presence. Psychologically, humans crave attunement and a certain mirrored responsiveness. Yet, for women in particular, cultural conditioning has often taught them to suppress anger, fear, and intensity. And so we adapt to maintain social harmony, frequently at the expense of our own nervous system health. And so, of course, this can create anxiety and chronic tension and disconnection from our own instincts as well as intuition. Dogs respond to the totality of our presence, our tension, our calm, our hesitation, our joy. They do not judge, they simply mirror and engage. And this makes them actually natural teachers of co regulation, a practice that strengthens both nervous system flexibility as well as emotional resilience. From a relational and cultural perspective, this is actually revolutionary. Because in a society that often diminishes women's emotional and bodily wisdom, dogs actually provide a space where those instincts are not only accepted, but they are amplified. You get to practice being fully present, fully alive, without needing permission. And as your nervous system learns that it can be responsive without threat, you begin to reclaim the right to inhabit your body, to express your emotions, and to communicate your needs authentically. So, how can we intentionally reclaim this wild, fluid state? And honestly, everything starts with awareness. Pausing before interacting with your dog and perhaps asking yourself, how is my nervous system right now? Am I feeling tight, anxious, shut down, or numb? Naming whatever is coming up for you is perhaps the first step towards reclaiming that wildness. And then inviting yourself into a space of co regulation where you slow your breath, you soften your gaze, and you notice your dog's energy. Maybe walking together, allowing your dog to explore at their pace, mirroring their calm and curious energy, inviting your nervous system to shift from conditioned suppression into a responsiveness that just feels more fluid and dynamic. I also find attuned consensual touch as a really powerful way to practice this. Just slow, deliberate, low pressure petting along your dog's chest or back can activate oxytocin in both of you. You'll notice your heartbeat, the rhythm of your breathing, the subtle shifts in your energy. These aren't just moments of pleasure, they are exercises in nervous system retraining. Over time, these embodied practices can actually reshape your baseline state from one of tension and suppression to one of responsiveness, presence, and joy. And then, of course, there's play. Play is so often overlooked, but it is such a critical component of a wild nervous system. Whether that's just random running, rolling on the floor, being silly, doing things that are ridiculous and funny and add lightness and levity. These are moments that awaken curiosity and novelty and joy. These experiences reshape the nervous system to just move more dynamically, to strengthen resilience and emotional flexibility. And psychologically, play is gorgeous because it teaches us that intensity and exuberance are safe and natural. And I think culturally, socioculturally also, it allows us to reclaim a dimension of self expression that is often encouraged in women, where we're constantly taught to be less intense, to perhaps dim our light for the convenience and sake of others. And here's where that transformation really shows up in life. When your nervous system is fluid and responsive and alive, you can step into empowered self expression. You speak your truth. You start to set boundaries. You start to express creativity without fear or guilt. You respond rather than react. For dog moms, this rewiring transforms everyday life. Being attuned to your own nervous system allows you to be more attuned to others. Relationships improve because you can listen deeply, communicate clearly, and engage from presence rather than habitual compliance. Psychologically, perhaps you experience a reduction in anxiety and self criticism. And physiologically, maybe you sustain higher baseline energy. You're more emotionally regulated. You find yourself more resilient. Dogs are teachers of wildness. Their constant, honest presence is a reminder of what it feels like to move through life with curiosity and playfulness and attunement. And socially and culturally, this very practice challenges the conditioning that has only taught women to suppress their nervous system. And so, by reclaiming your wildness with your dog, you are actually reclaiming your autonomy, your emotional voice, and your relational power. Your bond with your dog deepens, your human relationships improve. And honestly, I think your overall life satisfaction becomes more expansive. So the next time you notice that spark of aliveness with your dog, remember that it is your nervous system remembering its natural state, fluid, responsive, and wild. It's an invitation to slow down, to breathe, and to notice how your body and your dog's body interact in a dance of co regulation and attunement and presence. Your dog is a companion and a mirror for reclaiming your wild nervous system. Every interaction is a chance to come into your body more fully, to express your emotions authentically, and to step into an expression, a self expression that feels empowering. And in doing so, you're not only going to transform yourself, but you're actually going to end up transforming your relationships, your home, and your life. And so, inviting you to stay present, stay curious, to let yourself feel fully alive. Thank you so much for joining me today.